Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of whatever this is called, the podcast, where you know the two hosts are definitely asleep by midnight on New Year's Eve. I am Scott Taylor. As always, here with me is Mr. Steven Garcia. Steve, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, I had a hell of a New Year's. Was in bed by 10. I think I fell asleep by 10:30. So this is like we're off and running. New year, new me, and yeah, just ready to kind of get into it. There's a lot of things that are coming out this year that I didn't know that I was looking forward to, but I just thought they were kind of off, because everything is like 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and this is every year. It's like, oh, it's here, so. Kind of excited to get into it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about 2020. We had a lot of thoughts about 2025 on our last episode and what worked and what didn't. In this episode, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to. What's coming out in 2026, which is a Mario Brothers movie. So it makes sense. I can use that accent. What's coming out 2026? But mostly movies. We'll talk a little TV, and we'll see what we're excited for, and kind of just go month by month. We'll have to do this again before the summer too, because more trailers come out. We get more excited for things, and you don't get a lot of information about the movies that are kind of on the back nine of this year. That's a sports reference, golf reference. There's 18 holes in golf, and when you say the back nine, it's the second half of the course.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Cool metaphor.
So, one of my favorite things is pointing out whenever I make a sports reference that it is a sports reference, and then over exaggerating the explanation for it.
Fantastic! I'm here for it.
January 2026, something coming out the day this will drop that I thought you might be excited for is Greenland 2.
Yeah,
you love apocalypse
movies.
Type disaster movies.
This is an interesting thing, and I didn't think that we were going to get into it this early, and I'm glad that we did because I just saw this. I have this month-to-month thing pulled up, and the first thing I saw was Greenland 2 Migration. Now, and I'm excited that it's out. Will I see it? I don't know. I doubt it. But I'm excited that we're still making these types of movies. What I'm not excited about is the fact that Gerard, what's his name? Gerard
Butler.
Depardieu? Yeah, I was going to say Depardieu. Gerard Butler, he's not, and look, to him, he's a great actor. He's one of those actors I thought was going to just kind of blow up and become kind of the next Sam Worthington. That was a joke, by the way. It just didn't happen because he takes on these roles. I want to meet his manager or his agent, whatever. He takes these roles on that are normally kind of straight to video type of movies. I mean, you see this with Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is making these types of movies. Bruce Willis, and I have total respect for Bruce Willis, but during the end of his career here, he was making these types of movies where he was paid, millions of dollars, possibly, I don't know, but just to show up for 10 or 12 minutes or just to kind of be a face in certain scenes. Not much acting required. We just need your name kind of thing. And this is the type of movie I think that Gerard Butler's kind of making. He's made, White House Down and Plane Down and Building Falls Down. These types of movies that are just like B-movie types, but they have, for some reason, they get released theatrically. And I don't know, I want to see him in some movies with maybe Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to see him some movies with just Timothy Chalamet. I want to see him in the mainstream, these movies that have some meat to them. And I don't know. I mean, long story short, I'm excited that it's out, but I probably won't see it. I only saw Greenland just for the effects. I wanted to see how the meteor strike happens and all that kind of stuff, because that's cool. But you had to wait the whole movie for that. You got a little bit at the beginning just to entice you, but then you go through this 2-hour movie of them trying to get to this bunker and the typical tropes of making the stupid decisions or listening to kids or whatever, and then by the time you get there, it's like 5 minutes, if that. It's the end of the movie. So this one has a lot more. I think what they learned is that they have a lot more action scenes. There's, they're crossing chasms and canyons, and they're on little like rope bridges and so I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm excited more that they're making it. I probably won't see it. I don't know. Scott Taylor, your thoughts?
I tend to like the rebuilding movies better than the disaster part, if that makes sense. So like 28 Days Later. I love 28 Days Later. It was great. But I like when they're like trying to rebuild things or people are trying to survive afterwards and
Yeah,
what happens there.
good point.
Like The Road. Right? The Road was great. I love The Road. Very, very dark, but it's you're in an apocalypse and you're surviving it versus like, oh, it's happening. What are we gonna do? I tend to like those better. And so if this is kind of building on the first one, I've never seen the first one. If it's
Yeah.
building on the first one, I probably would like this one better.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because especially the road, bringing up the road. I kind of thought about that when I was seeing trailers for this. The road, again, it goes back to my whole what is it called? Kind of standard. You have the falling skies. Did we talk about this, or was I talking about this with Toby? But yeah, falling skies, and then you have Walking Dead. Both pretty much one's aliens, one's zombies, but pretty much what you're saying, the kind of rebuilding of or existing and trying to
Mhm.
survive in this kind of post-apocalyptic America. Whereas Walking Dead had a lot of gore and a lot of more questionable morality in some of these characters, and they go to the end of that as far as you can go with that. Whereas in Falling Skies, it's TNT, it's for cable, it's for families. You don't get the gore, you don't get the real tense moments. I mean, you get them, but that there's a lot of plot armor going on here, so
Mhm.
you can't show a lot of gore. You can't. So for me, I think that that the road was on the Walking Dead side, where it shows the cannibalism, it shows the attacks, it shows the viciousness of trying to survive in this situation. Where I think for Greenland, it's kind of like okay, we'll see what happens, but let's see how because plot armor it protects a lot of stuff, and at some point you're just like, okay, well I know that these people aren't going to die, so you can put them through anything. Let's just get to the end. Whereas I think when it's more compelling when the stakes are higher and people die, like kind of like Welcome to Derry, where you're getting introduced to these kids, and then you're like, okay, here's the cast, and then they kill off most of them. So that's what I enjoy more. To your point, that's what I enjoy more about the rebuilding part movies about that.
And we're probably the only podcast out there that spends a good 10 minutes on Greenland too. So we've got exclusives here, people. Welcome all Greenland fans. Hashtag Greenland forever, which is
And that's it. Good
probably
night.
something else. So going along the same apocalyptic lines, in January we also get 28 years later, the Bone Temple, and we both enjoyed the previous film. We're looking forward to the next two
Hmm.
in the series, and get this one so quickly is awesome. It's fresh in our minds. I will probably still go back and rewatch the prior one before seeing this one, but everything looks great. It looks same world, same timeline, same characters, just adding on to it. Super excited for that.
Yeah. Oh, I got the next. Good Lord. Yeah. So that one came out. When did that one come out? That one came out in June of last year, right? Correct.
Yeah,
And this one's called the Bone Temple.
the Bone Temple.
Let's see.
Also, it's called the Bone Temple because of the you see where the Ralph Fiennes lives, and he's got all those skulls and stuff built up, but also because of all the man bones you see dangling in this film.
And when we say dangle, we don't use that term lightly. It's
Yeah.
very danglish.
Yeah, we referred to the previous movie as 28 Dongs later.
This one's directed by Nia DaCosta. Now, I'm not really familiar with the things that she's done, but she's from New York. So we're getting a little bit of the Americans over there doing the 28 years. But apparently she's done Little Woods, a crime thriller, Little Woods in 18, winning the Nora Ephron Prize for female filmmakers at the Tribeca Film Festival, which is kind of cool, I guess. She did she do a Candyman? She did a Candyman. So, this looks promising. I mean, I think the ending, I think we both had a problem with the ending I can't remember, but the ending of the 28 years later, the first one. So it's going to be interesting how they weave that in. If this is going to be more of a kind of, I don't know, what is it? That director that did Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. Can't remember that guy's name. Anyways, if it's going to be a lot of
Oh, Peter O'Toole.
That guy, yeah, the alcoholic. If this is going to be more of kind of the fast edit, fast thing, fast this, or if it's going to be more of a kind of continue on the line of this of what Danny Boyle did in the first one. So we'll see. I'm excited to see it. I kind of wonder if this is going to be made on iPhones as well. I think the whole thing is, but I can't be sure on that. Yeah, Ralph. How do you say Fiennes? Is it Fiennes? Is it
I say fines.
okay? And how do you say his first name? Do you say Ralph or do you say Rafe? I've heard different things.
I mean, if it's RALPH, I'm going Ralph.
That's
if you
right.
want to correct, you want to correct me.
Thank
If I
you.
ever meet him in person, great, correct me, and I'll say it however you want me to.
Oh man. Let's see this one. Oh, look at this. Cillian Murphy comes back. He reprises his role. Oh wow. And he sets him up for the planned third film. Wow. Okay. Well, that gets me excited.
Yeah,
So-
I think looking at it as a trilogy, because this would not be a standalone movie. You could have gone into the last one as not knowing anything about 28 days later or weeks later or whatever. But this one, you're gonna have to have watched the prior movie, I think, to get the full effect. And the fact that they're filmed back to back, that they're carrying the storyline on, that we know what this is gonna kind of be about, right? It's gonna be about the young kid who's just lived in this little village on an island for so long, just came out into the real world and saw what it's really like, is now going to be paired up with a kid who's grown up in the current real world. It's the kid that was in the opening scene of the movie watching TV, and then it just lives in this world and goes kind of the avenue of, I can do whatever I want. This is the world. There's no rules. I can just do whatever I want. I can be whatever I want. It's going to be a very good juxtaposition there, and knowing that that's the storyline we're getting into, I'm excited to see the kid kind of carry on and act through that.
Me too. I'm excited. Comes out what, the 16th? So we got about 10 days or so.
Yeah, we're still in January here with movies. I'm kind of
Jesus.
scrolling over some that I'm that are out there that I'm not super excited for. Primate. Have you seen the trailer for that? The chimp. It's a horror movie where like a chimp lives with a family and then the chimp like turns, and they make it like it's kind of like they're treating it like he's a velociraptor, like he's behind like a clear shower curtain or whatever, and you hear the kind of.
Jeez. Who's in it?
I don't know that anybody big is in it.
Oh,
It's kind of it's not independent, but it's more of like a Blumhouse type thing, and I'm excited for an ape horror movie, because that scene in Nope is just traumatizing. The whole scene with Gordy, right?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You've never seen Nope?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to see Nope, because there's a whole subplot
I'm
of
writing
the
this
chimp
down.
that is really good.
Is that a Nope with an N or is it a KN?
It's the biography of Leslie Nope from Parks and Rec.
All right. Well,
So
it's on
that's
the
coming
list.
out. Have you seen the trailer for Mercy
Mercy.
with good old Chris Pratt?
Oh yeah, that doesn't.
And I'm like,
really look-
no. You get to review all this footage and stuff to kind of prove yourself and defend yourself.
And you have like 90 minutes, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. So it's kind of, this will probably fall into line with when we do a episode on just like real time movies and TV shows, but it's like Minority Report light,
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was like,
Yeah.
because he's like a, what is he? Is he a police captain or a politician of some sort?
I think he's like a police captain in it. Yeah.
And then he gets accused of this crime. What's the name of that film?
That is called Mercy.
Mercy.
So there's that coming out. I saw a trailer yesterday for movie Send Help, Sam Raimi's next movie coming out,
Really?
which looks really interesting and a lot quieter than the Doctor Strange and
Right.
stuff like that he's been doing. It's got what's her name there? Rachel McAdams. Good old Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
And
Dylan O'Brien.
she's working for this dick of a boss, and she just has to put up with them. And then they're flying to some corporate thing they have to go to, and the plane crashes. and just her and him survive on the island. She has to kind of like nurse him back to life, and then he starts being a dick again, like, I am your boss, and she's like, not out here. So it seems like it's gonna be really good, like that kind of, yeah, screw your boss, and kind of maybe that you start to feel bad for the villain
Yeah.
from the beginning, and that's
Uh-huh.
always a good twist.
Huh. Yeah.
So that
Well, I
looks
can
interesting.
see it's shot by Bill Pope, who's done a lot of good movies. He did a lot. He did a couple of Sam Raimi. I think he did Spider-Man 3, but he did The Matrix. He did, let's see, he did Darkman with Sam Raimi. That was his first movie. Clueless.
Shoot, Darkman on Gonna See My Friends.
Yeah, we should. That's a good one. Yeah. He did Clueless, Bound, Gridlocked, Zero Effect. I mean, this dude is all over the place. And I just now, well, not now, but like in the last like maybe years, have started to kind of look into like cinematography and part of the preparation for Going to See My Friends, and his name pops up a lot. So yeah, good. Should be good. I mean, I think I saw. The thing about AI and all this kind of stuff is that sometimes I feel like I'll watch something or the thumbnail on YouTube looks AI, so I'm like, oh, that's AI. This was one of those ones I thought was AI, like, because you'll see, like, I'm sure, have you seen this on YouTube where it's like Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, a new one in 2026, and you're like, oh, cool. And like a year or two ago, you were like, oh, I'm gonna check this out, and then you're like, this doesn't look right. And now you know it's AI. So this is one of those ones I thought. So it's cool to know that it's a real film.
I got duped this morning in preparing for this.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Masters of the Universe in a little bit down there, but I was going through looking for like trailers for this stuff, and I got duped by a fan one. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this isn't this.
Yeah, that's the danger now. So keeps you on your toes.
So there's one that I saw a trailer for earlier that I was like, this looks really interesting and different. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Oh, when does that come out?
It's Gore Verbinski.
Wow.
Directs Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is a man from the future who recruits patrons at a Los Angeles diner to help combat a rogue artificial intelligence.
Wow. What's it called again? Good luck.
Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
That's February. Okay, we're in February now. Then, huh? Okay.
Yeah. If there's any movies that you're like, hey, let's talk about this one that
yeah.
come out sooner, just jump in.
Okay.
I skipped things like Crime 101, which is like, ensemble facts. Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo. I'm like, nobody needs to talk about
Dead
that.
Man's Wire in theaters but limited release. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. So good luck. Have fun. Don't die. And who'd you say that was? Gore Verbinski.
Gore Verbinski, and Sam Rockwell's the lead. And the trailer is he comes in to a diner in L.A. just looking like a homeless guy, just with same type of clothing, and he's like, "Everyone, the world is going to end, and I need to enlist. Who's ready to help me?" And they're like, "You're homeless. You look like a homeless dude." And he's like, I come from the apocalyptic future. This is fashionable. So I just like the premise that, that could happen and to lead off this type of movie. It seemed like it's going to be fun and entertaining.
Yeah, I mean he does a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He did The Lone Ranger, in 13, which bombed, but he did The Mexican with Brad Pitt in 2001. I thought he had done Moneyball, but who did Moneyball? I can't remember who did Moneyball, but yeah, he was a music video guy. So yeah, this one looks pretty cool, man. I haven't seen anything or heard anything about it, so I'm excited. I'll check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, check out the trailer and see what you think. And also in February, Scream 7.
I haven't even seen. I think I stopped watching Scream after like 2 or 3, maybe. What are we on now? 7? Jeez.
Yeah, so the last two. So the fifth one, they were in New York. They went the whole Jason Takes Manhattan route. And they tried to do a brand new scenario, get out of Woodsboro, whatever. And it was just in New York, and none of like the original cast were really in it, except for what's his name, the sheriff.
Dudley or Dooley or
yeah, I always think of the Scary Movie instead, but the dude.
Yeah.
And so he was, I think, the only person that was in it. They might have had maybe at some point, what's her face from Friends shows up because she was the reporter.
Oh yeah. not Rachel. Geez, bunch of old men here.
We're just gonna be like that person who did this thing. We can't remember anyone's names. So I think at some point, Courtney Cox. So the White Snake. See, now your brain just synapses and it goes to all these. She was in the White Snake video, you know. Did anyone ever tell you that? So Scream 7, yeah, it's for a while. Sydney was out of the last like 2 movies, and now they brought her back. I think Matthew Lillard might be back for this one. I think they said Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah, I
maybe.
heard that he was going to be. Oh yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how they work that in. But you know, I love Scream, so of course I'm gonna see that one. But the one coming right after that. I'm hoping you've seen this trailer because I really want your opinion.
Okay.
Is The Bride?
Oh yeah, I have seen that the preview or I feel like I saw a teaser or something. Yeah, but
so yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal setting 1980s following Frankenstein's monster played by Christian Bale. Mm-hmm. As he has a companion created for him, Jesse Buckley. It also has Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Sarsgaard, Annette Bening, and Penelope Cruz. It's like a Bonnie and Clyde-esque take. No one needs this, right?
I think what they're doing is they're cementing their what is it? They're cementing their place in indie film, and you have to be edgy, and you have to be, and you know, I'll give it to them. They're treading over some real familiar stuff. So yeah, I think the only thing to do now is to kind of go, what is it? Is it modern day or?
It's 1930s. It's like a 30s, Bonnie and Clyde mafia kind of type, you know.
Yeah, they just have to do something different with it. Instead of trying to create an original idea, you take an existing IP and then you just kind of you zag. And you know, it's a higher percentage of misses, but you know, I think in the film industry, in the film kind of community, you get your props because you're trying to do something different. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't see a need.
Just put them in space already. You want to do something different, just put them in space.
Or make it modern, you know, like try to modernize it or I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to see that either, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, just do something more, I don't know. Maybe it's the old man in me, but
I get the swing and a miss, you know, scenario. I get that it's better to whiff it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's like you take a swing. You try to see what you can do with it versus sitting there and letting fate decide for you. This is just watching the trailer. I'm like, it feels like it's trying too hard to be edgy.
Yeah.
And then Christian Bale as his Frankenstein role there. And it's like you can see it's Christian Bale dressed like Frankenstein.
Yeah. You know, maybe it's the old man in me, but it's like I feel like, you know, at some point, and I do this with sports. In fact, great example. Last night, the Niners played Seattle, and I didn't watch it. Our defense is horrible. All this talk about trying to make the Super Bowl. We've been in the Super Bowl the last 6 years. We've been in this, or 7 years. We've been in the Super Bowl twice. We lost twice. We've had arguably the best team in the NFL in those 2 Super Bowls, and we still lost. The idea that, like, we're going to go into a game that's everything's on the line for the number 1 seed and win was ridiculous to me. At some point, you have to just be like, I get the hype, but this isn't it, and we're not going to do this. That's how I felt about the Niners last night. That's why I didn't want to watch them lose on, you know, everybody's watching. I didn't want to see them lose and get blown out, which thing, whatever. But this is kind of what this is to me. This kind of movie is like, at some point, you just have to kind of, you know, not rely on the hype and just rely on what you see and just be like, this ain't it, bro.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. And so that was a long way around to say that. How did you like that? What I just said to you, how do you like that?
I liked it. It was a lot of sports, a lot of sports there. Yeah, it's easy to be negative and it's easy to go, this looks stupid. And we don't want to do that. Well, it's definitely not for us.
Yeah. And I do that in a hope that I'm wrong sometimes, and most of the time, that I hope that I'm wrong. I hope this is great. In fact, we should rename this podcast to 2 old geezers talking about movies or something. We're not old. Never mind.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. But you know what's not old is the movie coming out on March 20th because it hasn't even been born yet. It's called Project Hail Mary.
Well, let me. There's one in February. I kind of want to
Yeah, let's go back
talk
to it.
about is the 27th and the 20th and the 27th. Elvis Presley in concert comes up by Boz Luhrmann, who just did Elvis a couple years ago with blonde hair pretty boy. I forget his name. He in preparing for the role of this movie that he did, he uncovered a lot of this concert footage. So he's coming out with. So if you're a big Elvis fan, I'm not a big Elvis fan. I'm kind of like a lower to mid tier Elvis fan, but I do appreciate him and appreciate his place in music history. So if that's in your interest, that's coming out first on the 20th in IMAX, and then the 27th kind of in every theater. So if you're a big Elvis fan, keep a lookout for that. That should be fun. Okay. Go on.
So it's coming out 2 weeks. You said 20th.
The 20th, it comes out on, in IMAX theaters, just in IMAX. And then on the 27th, it gets released to every theater.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, there was also in February Psycho Killer, which is
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
So it's written by Seven's Andrew Kevin Walker. It's a new serial killer thriller.
Oh, wow.
So, and you hear Seven, you're like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's such a good movie. You can rest on those laurels for decades. And so I'd give that a shot. But
Well, he also did what was that one with the?
Are you talking about The Ref with Dennis Leary?
I can't remember anybody's name. I mean, I go into these with notes, but I don't write down names. Can you believe that? He's Nicolas Cage. He did that 8mm with Nicolas Cage. He also wrote that. So it's going to get dark and deep and kind of psychotic. Psycho Killer's apt name for it. I didn't know that, and I'm writing that down as a must-see. So let me write this down here.
Yeah, that's February 20th.
Who'd you say that was in it? Did you know who was in it?
It is Barbarian's Georgina Campbell stars alongside Logan Miller and Malcolm McDowell.
Logan Miller, another fucking movie star that I thought was going to just take over, that was just going to take Hollywood by storm. I always just thought that he was going to be one of the big ones. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Not the same guy I was thinking about. Anyways, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's see. So then we got we get to Project Hail Mary. Everyone's excited about that because the book was such a big deal. I guess people enjoyed the book a lot.
I have it on audiobook. I haven't listened to it yet, though.
I have the actual book because I'm slightly smarter than you, and I'm gonna try to read that. My goal is to read it by March 20th, so we'll see how that goes.
It's only 496 pages, 500-page book.
That's fine.
That usually takes me, I don't know.
If I get into a book, I'll like Dungeon Crawler Carl. We've talked about it, and I'll sit there and just read and read and read.
Say that name again. Say the title.
Dungeon Crawler Carl. Carl.
No, it's just a mouthful to say. I can't even say it.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to get out of your mouth.
Every time you do say it, I think of that. I'm like, I'm not saying that.
I have to pause and slowly go Dungeon Crawler Carl because my Boston accent will be on Dungeon Crawler Carl.
I still think this is all a ruse. You're not from Boston. I don't hear any accent from you ever.
Nope, just get me heated. It will slip out. That's what she said. So Project Hail Mary looks good. I mean, I feel like, if you've watched the trailers, they show you that he actually interacts with an alien in the trailer, which people are like, why are you showing that? Like, that's kind of a big deal. Like, it's one thing to show, like, him going and getting scared by it, but it's another thing to actually show the alien and show him interacting with it. And
well, that's the thing. That's the thing about movies nowadays. They don't have any trust in the audience. They got to tell everything in the trailer. So when you watch the movie, everything's already, excuse me. Wow. Everything's already explained to you. And that's, I think, part of the problem of movies nowadays. There's a lot of them, a lot of good things though. Again, don't want to get off on the negative stuff, but I think you're going to see also the style of the two directors, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who were originally supposed to do Solo, and they got fired and replaced by Richie Cunningham. And so I think the comedy you're gonna see. I feel like this is gonna be a good example of what was Solo supposed to be like, in
Mm.
the sense of the comedic placement of all the bits in this movie. And that's what, when I first heard that they were the ones directing this, I thought, oh, okay, I got to see. And then in the trailer, you kind of see some Gosling, kind of him doing some humorous, like, which in the 80s would be the stick around, get to the chopper, those kind of things. And I think you're going to kind of see that in this, in a humorous way, I should say. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one. If I can get through the book, we'll definitely see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And might have. My wife is a big reader. She read like 64 books last year.
Oh man, that's just one more than me.
You were very close, Steve. You were very close. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe she'll read it too, and then maybe my kid will read it. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see there. We get a new Super Mario Brothers movie in April. Go see
my
that.
birthday
If you
month.
like, happy birthday, Steve. Here's some Mario.
Not a big Mario Brothers fan. Not to say that I hate it. I just was never into it, so I don't. I played the game on 64. No, not 64. Nintendo. I played it on there, but that was the extent of it for me. I know there was a movie that came out with Dennis Hopper, but I didn't see that one either.
My Mario will always be Lou Albano. He'll always be my Mario. And when, this one, they throw Chris Pratt in it did feel like they were just throwing like Hollywood names in to which is what they do with animated movies now. And it's like, okay, great. Get this person to voice it. They can be on the junkets and we'll draw people in. It's like, you got enough right there. You got Mario. Kids
Yeah.
are going to love Mario.
Yeah.
Just send it in with, whatever voice you want. But the first movie was fine. It was a fine Mario Brothers movie. This one, of course, it's going back to the well.
Yeah.
But there's a sequel coming out in April too to something. I don't know if you've seen it. The original was called Ready or Not, and this one's Ready or Not 2. Here I Come.
Ready or Not. Yeah, it's familiar, but I don't. Yeah.
So
what's it about?
Samara Weaving is in it, and in the original movie, she was getting married to this elite dude, and so I think it was the night before the wedding, or it was like engagement party or something like that. They were like, oh, we always play a game. And so they pull a card out of a thing and she has to play hide or seek. And basically she doesn't know, but they're going to, if she can survive, then, she becomes part of the family. But they're all trying to kill her. And so it's
crazy.
a similar thing where it's, she survives, of course, in the first one. And now like this bigger group of people come, including Sarah Michelle Gellar. And Elijah Wood's in it too. Sean Hattie is in it. I love Sean Hattie. And it's directed by David Cronenberg.
Oh, okay. So that puts a whole nother kind of veneer onto this movie, because when I hear David Cronenberg, I think, oh, okay, this will be interesting at least.
Mm-hmm.
And some body horror. I don't know if he's still into that, but he's always been a big body horror director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And let's not forget, like, my first, I guess I'll say love, because I loved his music. But Michael comes out, documentary on Michael Jackson, April 24th, in theaters. Now, have you seen the trailer for this, or teaser, whatever?
Yep, I saw the trailer.
It looks a lot. It looks a lot like there's a lot of CGI, just in the way that it's filmed. I feel like there's a lot of CG. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I'm interested in seeing. I mean, a very controversial figure as he ended up to be, but I think kind of what we talked about in the past in regards to like Chevy Chase, and Bill Murray is like, if you're able to kind of separate the controversy from the actual artist. I think for me, that was kind of easy to do because I just loved his music. I had Thriller. I had a little sticker that I put in my members only jacket that had a little window, and you were able, I don't know what the purpose of that was for as a kid, but it was just a zip. And I had you could put a little picture in there, and I put Michael Jackson in there. Had a little sticker of it too. I put it on my vinyl. Totally degrades the value, aftermarket value of the vinyl, but yeah.
Stupid kid. You were so dumb. I had Michael Jackson stickers. I had a speech therapist when I was in like kindergarten, first, second grade, and I had a little notebook, a little 3-ring binder type thing, and I remember there were stickers of Michael Jackson in there. And I think I have some of the Michael Jackson trading cards too. I have like a old school metal Muppet Show lunchbox, and it's just full of like Return of the Jedi trading cards, Michael Jackson trading cards, some Alf trading cards I think are in there too. So yeah, I this, you know, who doesn't love Michael Jackson's music? And the fact that Coleman Domingo is playing his dad. I mean, Coleman Domingo is great.
I don't know who that is. Let me see. That guy. Okay. Dude, it's Antoine Fuqua. So he's established. He knows what he's doing. The concern for me, Miles Teller is going to be in it too. The concern for me is, well, if it's going to be from cradle to the grave type of bio, or if it's just going to be a certain, which I used to love, but you've seen so many of those that now I think it's wiser to kind of pick an era. I was trying to do this screenplay about this bass player, Jaco Pastorius. Got his book, read it, loved the book, have you heard of Jaco Pastorius at all?
No, other than you telling me about him.
He was just a bass player in the 70s, revolutionized the way that people played bass and also approached the bass, how they viewed it. Victor Wooten, all these types of players that came after are kind of where Jacko started. He started all of that. I feel like he did.
You're telling me without him, we wouldn't have the Seinfeld theme song?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Slap at the bass.
But anyways, he had an interesting story. And so I hope that, and so I wanted to do Cradle of the Grave, which I knew I couldn't do, but I hope, and then with the Springsteen one that just came out too in October, like they picked a specific time in his career, which I think works better. You don't fall into the typical cliches, although the Springsteen one did. It found a way to do it. I don't know how, but it found a way, which is the bad part of the movie, but I loved it. Anyways, so yeah, picking a specific era of their life, I think fits better, and I hope that's what they do here. So, yeah.
Yeah, and end it on top. That's what she said. Get it to the point where, you know, you can do some flashbacks of childhood and stuff like that. That's fine to add into the character of it, tell more of the story. But then, yeah, get out before it gets too seedy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all I have for April.
So May, we get the first Star Wars movie that we've had since 2019. We get Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Are you excited for this or
no?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I haven't even watched the trailer. Like, I don't want to watch the trailer. I'll go see it. I don't want to watch the trailer. I don't want anything spoiled for me. I don't want to know. I know he's going to be running around with Grogu. I've watched the series. And that's enough for me to know.
Yeah, the last season wasn't really all that great, you know. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't like, oh, I need to find out how this ends. You know, sometimes series go on and they go on an extra year or two. I'm looking at you, The Office. And you kind of struggle to kind of like, and then they go and do something like this, and it's like, oh man, I had to go watch it.
Yeah,
it sounds bad, but it's like, you know what I mean. It's like, okay, I'll go see it, but it's okay.
Maybe another episode theme for us is when TV shows jump to movie, or when, you know, things that are not movies, like things start out and then they jump into being a movie, like the board game Clue jumping to a movie, you know. But TV shows like this, there's like scenarios where it works. There's scenarios where it doesn't work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But when you've had a specific TV show, it's tough to say, why didn't you just make another season? Why isn't this just a season? Why isn't it just a special?
I think that someone had asked that, or someone had asked Favreau, I think, or whoever's making this. And they said it was just a scheduling thing. They couldn't get Pedro blew up, and so he wasn't as available. His window of availability shrunk, so they just was like, let's just make this the conclusion of the story a movie. And so in that aspect, I can kind of understand, or not kind of, I can understand it. But again, it's the theme of, did this go on too long? Should this just have been 3 or 4 seasons and that's it? And I think it's the latter for me. It's just like, it's like a lot of these were supposed to be movies. A lot of these Marvel and Star Wars things. I think the Acolyte was supposed to be a movie, and they turned it into a series. I think Obi-Wan, the Kenobi series, was supposed to be a movie, and they turned it into a series. So this one is kind of going the opposite. It's like a series, and then they just end it with a movie, which, it's kind of clean. It's fast. 2 hours, you're in or out. But take those 2 hours and make them just, I don't know. Yeah. So anyways, yeah.
If they've boiled it down to 2 hours and it's not just stretched out, here's a villain of the week, but it's 2 hours long.
Right.
As long as it's not something like that, then great. Then end the story, do a movie to end it, pull the, Firefly, right? Like Firefly didn't get its actual ending. It just stopped. And so they ended up making a movie. That's fine, I think, to do that. And hopefully it'll turn out well. Like it's Star Wars, I'm going to see it. It's, 2 hours of my life. I can give up 2 hours of my life. I give up 2 hours of my life for worse things. So,
right.
Then in June, Masters of the Universe.
Well, you're blowing a load a little too early here, which I know you've known to do. But we have, and these are movies that I'm excited about per se, but it's fair to mention, which is Animal Farm is coming to theaters in May 1st. The Devil Wears Prada 2 May 1st in theaters. And for your religious folks, The Resurrection of the Christ Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Part 2?
Yeah, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
What antics is he going to get into this time?
Well, this one, it's the quirky gay neighbor, and he has to reconcile his feelings. Whatever, I don't know.
Can he be resurrected more than once?
I think so. I think that's the whole thing about resurrection is that you can I mean, it's a perfect plot device, right?
They have punch cards for that. Your seventh one is free.
So for all you religious folks, you have that to look forward to. And isn't that past April? I mean, isn't that after Easter?
Yeah, I was going to say, for all you people where your family will no longer come to your Easter dinner because of your views, have we got a movie for you?
That's awesome. That's perfect. So yeah, I just wanted to slip those couple movies in there.
And then we move on to let's talk Animal Farm. I mean, have you seen the trailer for that?
No, and I just heard about it like probably a week or two ago, and I was like, okay, well they did a like an animation, right? Or they did a cartoon of it, right?
Yeah.
But this one is Andy Serkis. It's got Seth Rogen, Stranger Things, Gaten Mataraz. What is it?
Matazzano?
Yeah. Mazzaro. Kieran Culkin, Glenn Close, Woody Harrelson, Steve Buscemi, Laverne Cox, Kathleen Turner. For all you Kathleen Turner people out there. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be animated again. But I think it's a good time to reintroduce this story. Because I think it's kind of like one of those Orwell, 1984. Yeah, it's just a time to be reminded of what happens when we get to kind of too much on one side. It's got to come back over. So, yeah.
Anytime, I don't know. It feels like it's trying to walk the line and not doing a good job between being like an animated like kids movie versus being adult themes. Anytime you throw Seth Rogen in it, I think of that fast food, was it Sausage Party?
Yeah.
And I can't think of Seth Rogen voicing anything else than like a sexually frustrated wiener.
Aren't we all? But I think, well, you're right. And I think in the 70s when they would do this, e.g. Watership Down or even The Secret of Nim to an extent, where you had these kind of really intense stories told in animation. So immediately the kids are going to go see it, but then immediately they are traumatized by certain deaths or certain things that happen in the movie. I'm hopeful that that's kind of like what this is that it doesn't give a shit about your kids and it's luring them with the animation. And then, bam! It's kind of like, we're going to traumatize your kids. And, maybe that needs to be, maybe we need to introduce a little trauma into our kids' lives more so than we do now. But because of the things that this film kind of addresses, the kind of issues that this film addresses. I mean, he wrote this book, 5 years before he did one in 1984. So, I mean, I think It's part of the times, and I think it's hopefully it's not too heavy-handed. A lot of films can kind of address certain issues and kind of be heavy-handed about it. And then there's good
Mhm.
ones that you know what they're kind of talking about, but it's the stories compelling you to kind of buy into the premise, and you kind of get lost in the story. And those are the good ones. Those are the ones. And, I'm thinking of it's that one where the kids are all on the deserted island. That movie.
Oh, Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies, yeah. I mean that there's some good adaptations, and then there's a couple that aren't really that good. So hopefully this lands on the good side.
We all survived the swamp of sadness and Artax. We all made it through that. So let's throw some heavy stuff at our kids.
Yeah,
So Masters of the Universe, June, get into the summer season. Before this, we've only had the cartoon and then the '80s movie. And could it be good? Yeah, it's got Idris Elba as Man at Arms, Jared Leto as Skeletor, Alison Brie as Evelyn, Marina Baccarin is the Sorceress. So we'll have to wait and see the trailer, right? Like that's the whole thing to me. I need to see some proof of what do you call it? Proof of concept. Yeah. So give me some proof of concept. Let me see so I can buy into this. Because I'd love a Masters of the Universe. It's supposed to be like after 2 decades away, he returns. Prince Adam returns to Eternia, which you could make that a great story. You can make it like, yeah, I went to living my normal life, and whoops, record scratch, and now he has to go back to living Eternia. He's like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm okay. I'm gonna take you step by step through my process here. Like when this was announced that they were making this, I was yay. I'm in. I was a kid of the 80s. I had all the toys. I had all the toys. And then they're gonna be their costumes are gonna be cartoon accurate. So I was like, again, I'm in. Wow. Keeps getting better. Keep the good news rolling. Oh, we're gonna have this person is this person is hey. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. And then the story is a 10-year-old crash lands on Earth. And I'm like, let's just get Earth out of the Masters of the Universe thing. Let's just get Earth away from the story, because if it didn't work in the 87 with Dolph Lundgren, the only tie to Earth that the cartoon and the original story has is that his mother was from Earth and that she came and crash landed on Eternia. That's all I want. I don't want Earth anywhere near this story. I really am hoping that I just don't want the whole fish out of water. I'm a prince of this, whatever. And it's like, I just don't want Earth a part of the story. It just wasn't the whole point of He-Man and Eternia is this magical place. I mean, you remember the cartoons, right? Like how colorful that world was and how big it was.
Yeah, I just watched the Christmas special, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, Earth doesn't really play a part in any of that story. And to make it screams to me, well, we don't have enough faith in the fact that the older generation is going to come and see this. We know they will, but we need the kids to come. So we need to tie it into stuff that's familiar. It's like, okay. All right. Cash grab. So I hope it's good. I'm still in. I'll still watch it. But if it's going to be like, I got in a fender bender, I don't have ID. What is this? What are these things you call cars? I'm just going to be out.
Orko just talks to him and he goes, huh?
Yeah.
What are you?
What's this thing everybody's carrying around? Beep, boop, beep, boop. Like it's just going to be horrible. Or even worse would be, wow, I'm on Earth and I like Earth. I don't want to go back to Eternia, and I have to go back to Eternia. I just don't want to see all that stuff. I want to see medieval type of fantasy adventure that happens on a distant planet. It's like Star Wars. It's like Luke Skywalker arrives on Earth. Oh, what is this? It's like, yeah, let's just get out of that. That's silliness.
We're not gonna. Maybe they'll show us some of the side characters because that was the best part of He-Man. Was you had all these different that were all creative, and you had freaking Moss Man, you had Stinkor, you had the dude with two arms, you had Manny Faces.
I had the The yeah, the guy, was it Trapjaw? The guy with he could put the new gun on his arm or something. And I just remember one of the cartoons where he couldn't get one of them off, and he's like, "Ugh, I can't get this off," and He-Man defeats him because he can't change his guns. But yeah, it's 10-year-old Adam Glenn crash lands on his mother's home planet, separating him from his ancestors' power sword of Grayskull.
Mm.
2 decades later, he takes his sword back and bears on the mantle of He-Man as he battles for his home planet, Eternia, against the evil forces of Skeletor. I mean, I'm in. I'm going to go watch it, but I'm kind of...
Yeah.
That's kind of like these legacy things, sequels that come out, they kind of just rely on, I don't know. I just want something good.
Yeah, don't screw up my He-Man. Don't give me crap. Just give me something with some thought to it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents, or more 5 cents.
We're in June now, working our way to July, and Spielberg. We got Disclosure Day. Again, I've seen the trailer. I want to see more proof of concept, see what it's more about, before I kind of judge it on its face.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer or teaser, whatever they called it, it had the classic. See, this is what happens when you are a legacy director, an auteur, someone who has a distinct kind of style in the way that they film their movies. When you get to the later phases of your career, you're able to just kind of sell those kind of things, which we saw in the preview or the trailer. I don't know if it was a teaser or trailer, but so you saw the camera movements, you saw the mise en scene, you saw the way he composes the shot. It's all there in the trailer, but and this is kind of a throwback to earlier trailers, what they used to kind of not show you everything, right? That being said, I'm with you in the sense of I hate the old bait and switch, which just happens lately. It's here's something really interesting to look at, and then you go see the movie, and it's you're like, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. So hopefully there's kind of like a marriage between those two things where it looks Spielberg. I mean, the whole thing was Spielberg. The whole trailer, it was like this is definitely Spielberg. Okay. The action scenes, the camera movement within the action. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, okay, I feel like maybe I'm too what is it? In the last 10, 15, 20 years I'm too used to the trailer showing you everything. So now I'm like, I need to see everything in the trailer. I hope that's not the case. So I hope it's really good. I mean, it's Spielberg. He's been lately making more of streaming platform movies. Bridge of Spies comes out. I had no idea that was Spielberg. I had no idea when that came out. It came out earlier. I think in the last 5 years it came out or something. I can't remember. But it had Tom Hanks, Spielberg movie, and I hadn't heard about it at all until it came out on the platform. So, yeah, I mean, he's getting up there in age, and I appreciate his output, so I'll go check it out. So, yeah.
Well, we also got a new Toy Story in June.
Yeah.
Toy Story 5. 4 was horrible.
Oh, was it?
It was, you had the perfect trilogy. You had those 3 movies stand up there with like, Godfather, the first 3 Star Wars movies. Like, it was perfect. And then you go with number 4 and it just ripped it open. I understand the story they were trying to tell it with it, but it just was not good. And so I feel like they're like, well, let's just keep going. Let's just throw another one out. Yeah, let's throw another one out there. Let's see if we can bring it back.
Well, Tarantino shares your sentiment. He was quoted as saying so. He's like, to me, it's the trilogy, and that's it. I don't watch 4. I don't like it. I don't know why they felt the need to make another one. They had the perfect trilogy, just mirroring what you just said. So I think that sentiment is kind of the universal kind of feeling amongst the fans.
In Paul Rudd and Jack Black's junkets for Anaconda, someone asked them like, "What's your favorite trilogy? Like, what's the best trilogy out there?" And there were Talking about Toy Story and that same thing, that they had the perfect trilogy right there. Also, did you know if you swap the first letters of Paul Rudd's name, his be Raoul Pud? I thought of that last night, thinking for some reason, just my
No.
brain swapping things around, and nope, Raoul Pud.
Welcome to the inner thoughts of Scott Taylor.
Bud. With Supergirl, we've talked about Supergirl. Or go back to our previous podcast episodes about the trailer. Our thoughts on there. Will we see it? Yes. Not excited about it. Maybe aged out of it, but we'll give it a shot for sure. July we get some kids movies, Minions. We get Moana. Do we need a live action Moana? Disney has not learned from these things.
I heard this one's really good. I heard the previews about this. I don't have a horse or dog in the fight or whatever the saying is. So I just heard that it's supposed to be really good. They nailed, but I thought it had already come out. I thought this came out like a year or two ago. Yeah. But for all you Nolan fans, Christopher Nolan fans, we have the Odyssey. Now, you may think it's the Odyssey. No.
The Odyssey.
I'm looking forward to this movie. It's got Matt Damon. I got some notes about it here. It's got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal. Interesting story. My first year in film school, my friend who was an actor, he was trying to be an actor. I don't know how, but this was like the first season of Walking Dead. And John Bernthal called him, and they had a conversation out on my stoop in the city, and he was really stoked and made me really appreciate him as an actor, but more as a person. It comes through in his interviews. It comes through his kind of genuine. He's just a genuine person, and it comes through in all of his interviews. He's very grateful. He's very kind of appreciative of what he's had, but also what the people that came before him. And he had a pretty transformative thing happen in his life. And if you want to know it, I'd recommend going and listening to a podcast which he's on, just anyone, and he'll probably talk about it. But it was very intriguing to hear. And it just made me love him more as an actor, as a person. So anything that he's in, I'm going to go see it anyways. And because I know he'll make the most of his part. It may not be a great movie, but he's bringing his A game. So yeah, I'm interested in this. This is going to be, I feel like this is probably going to be one of his biggest movies, only because his reputation has grown so much between Interstellar. Now, Interstellar is getting a lot of love lately. Have you noticed that at all? I've noticed it. I hear a lot of. You notice how I asked you a question, didn't allow you to answer.
Like,
but Interstellar's, all the reactors on YouTube are kind of watching it. I'm seeing this pop up on a lot of best ever lists. And at the time, I remember there was a lot of mixed reviews. I remember I was part of the fandom that really liked the movie and was kind of weirded out by the negative response of some people. Now I just hear raves, and people that have never seen it, younger people like in their 20s, maybe even late teens, are watching it and being like, this is the greatest movie. I can't believe I've never seen this movie. So I'm excited about this movie. I think he's one of the great filmmakers of this time that we're in. And I think anything he puts out should be watched and criticized and analyzed and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. How about you?
I've heard actually that the first 3 screenings of this movie have already been canceled due to exhaustion. Oh wait, no, that's the Morrissey. Did you hear Morrissey cancels his concerts frequently and already canceled his first 5 of the new year? So,
oh, he did.
I thought that was a pretty good show. Let's make a reel of that one, Steve. That's a pretty good one.
Okay,
talking about the Odyssey.
Clip it.
Turn it into the Morrissey. You can't beat that. No, I do agree with John Bernthal. We met him after season 1 of Walking Dead at a convention, and my daughter was like maybe 2, 3, something like that, and And he was like, "Oh, hey," he's like, my kid's the same age. Can I pick her up?" And he like picked her up and was goofing around with her and holding her for the picture we took and stuff like that. And couldn't be nicer. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's got all the credibility that he needs for me to see anything he's in. And he's also a great actor, and he's got a great podcast out there too. His
Yeah.
own podcast. So
Yeah.
you know, it would take a lot. This is one where if he showed up on a list somewhere, you'd be like, "Oh, that hurts." That would be one of the painful ones. But I would doubt that would happen.
Yeah. I doubt that, dude.
And another Bernthal movie, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, in July. John Bernthal in
Oh,
there
that's
as
coming out.
Punisher. Yeah. So we kind of get 2 Marvel movies. This one being the first one, and we get 2 DC movies too. So we get Supergirl, and then we also get Clayface, which is I don't know. I think that's on my list coming up in a couple
That's
months here.
that's more of the Robert Pattinson Batman universe, right? Is the Clayface, or is that more of the James Gunn universe? DC.
I think it's. Let me see. Clayface. So Clayface, September 11th. Not the best day to release movies. It's a slight detour. Mike Flanagan had an idea for a standalone movie and wrote a Clayface script, influenced by Batman the Animated Series 2-part episode Feet of Clay.
I remember that one. Yeah.
He was voiced by Alan Tudyk in Creature Commandos,
Oh, okay.
which is canon and part of Gunn's,
Okay.
experiment of mostly casting the same actors. And we saw Frank Grillo switch, come into Superman there. And so I don't know how it exactly plays into it, which universe it kind of ties into. I guess we'll see. But we got Spider-Man. It's going to be a big movie. Everyone's going to love it. And we don't need to talk about it. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it when we get closer. But Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man. Of course, we're going to see Spider-Man.
It's one of the few good casting of Spider-Man. Not to say that Toby wasn't good. That was also good. But I mean, I think this one is more, and it's getting harder because I hope that when they do the story, it's him out of high school because he's getting older and he's not looking as young as he did when he made the first Spider-Man. But I think those first 2-3 movies, that was really the key, was casting somebody young that could be a believable high school student. And because I think he was in his early 20s, right, when he made that. So it wasn't that far off from being like, I think they were, in the last movie, they were seniors, right? So,
Yes, and they were applying to college. So when they ended that one, they were like going off to college.
Yeah,
so I think that's where we'll pick up.
Cool. Yeah.
The movie I'm most excited about for next year, we're not jumping all the way to December and talking Doomsday, Coyote versus Acme.
Oh, that's finally getting released?
Yes, it was purchased August 28th. Coyote versus Acme comes out. And there's so much backstory to this, just about it getting made and people actually really liking it. And the studio just going, we're going to use it as write-off.
Yeah.
And just shelving it. And, we can go back and forth on, do they have the right to do that? And is it the right thing to do versus do they have the right to do it? But the fact that it's supposed to be a really good movie, and I'm going to take it at its word there. It's got Will Forte. Will Forte leading anything, I'm in. There was a San Diego Comic-Con kind of trailer type of first footage release. It was very quick smashes, but it feels like with things like Space Jam, like we're in the Looney Tunes universe, like Michael Jordan and stuff were put into the Looney Tunes. This feels like Looney Tunes are put into our universe. Yeah. It feels more Roger Rabbity than Space Jammy.
I because there was that other Batgirl movie, right, last year or 2 years ago that suffered the same fate.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that this is, because I think a lot of the actors that were in this, the voice actors, whatever, were just like, this is a great movie. This is fun. Why isn't this out? And the same with the Batgirl movie too, as well. You had some actors in that film going, it was fine, So I'm glad that it's coming out, and I'm glad that the precedent hasn't been movies we don't like, we're just going to write it off. I'm so glad that that's not the norm, and it was in danger of becoming the norm. And maybe it is the norm, that there's a lot more movies we haven't even heard about that they do that with. So hopefully that, just release it. I mean, back in the day, in the 80s, it was just put it out on video, So.
Yeah, and now, sell it to somebody. Like, I'm sure you can get the same amount that you would for a write-off.
Yeah.
For what it cost you. Someone will probably buy it for very, very close to that. Because there's so many other studios and streaming services. Someone will pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Especially if it's something that the people are behind, like this one. The people that saw it were like, "This is really good. It was really funny. It was really creative. It's great use of special effects and stuff." And so I'm excited to see that one this year.
Yeah. So are we jumping July or wait, we did July. We're in August. Okay, sorry. Check this out. August 28th, Cliffhanger. A remake of the Sylvester Stallone movie. Can you believe that? Never heard of it. I didn't think that Running Man was cool because I didn't see it. But I appreciated the fact that it was out and they remade it. But it's really interesting. I listened to a podcast, and about a year or so ago, they were talking the original Cliffhanger, and they were like, and one of the podcasters was like, you know who I see in there? If they remade this, you know who I'd see? And it was the person that they remade it with. Again, can't remember the name. I'm an old man, but they remade it, and so I'm hopefully that this is. I don't know. This is with Lily James. Do you know who that is?
No.
Pierce Brosnan is the only one that I know. He's doing the. I think the. Let's see. Yeah, I think that he plays the Sylvester Stallone part. Pierce Brosnan at this age. It's going to be interesting because I can see how they can remake it. I'm not excited to see it. I'm not going to probably won't see it, but this is one where they're probably going to reimagine it and just kind of slap the name Cliffhanger because it happens in the mountains. So, anybody excited about that? Bam! Super Troopers 2 is coming out,
and that's in August too.
Yeah, and for those with kids, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie's coming out August 14th. You interested in that, there, Scotty?
No, I'm not.
Neither am I.
September we got Clayface. There's a new Resident Evil. Practical Magic 2.
Sense and Sensibility. Another remake. Speaking of remakes.
October, there's a Last Airbender coming out. Street Fighter movie.
Street Fighter.
There's a new Shyamalan movie done with Nicholas Sparks coming out called Remain. And again, we're going a little faster through these because there's not a whole lot out there about them.
Yeah, not in this late until we get into November and December, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. So Social Reckoning comes out in October, which is, kind of a sequel to, Social Network.
Oh, that's right.
So that'll be interesting to see.
It's with the writer. Did he direct this one? The Social Network.
Is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah. So he wrote the first one.
Yep. So he's directing it too this time. So that'll be good. November, what everyone's waiting for, the Cat in the Hat movie.
Yeah. I was waiting for Archangel. Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol.
Yep. I was going to bring that up because you love yourself some Christmas Carol.
I gotta see who's in that one because
Johnny
Depp. Sam, dude.
Johnny Depp plays Scrooge, joined by Sir Ian McKellen, Andrea Riseborough, and Severance's Tremel Tillman.
And set in Dickens, London, so in the past, following women. Okay. Zemeckis did one in 2009 with Jim Carrey, animated, obviously. It's there's one that came out with that just came out in the last 5 years with the Australian dude that was in LA Story. Pierce is his name. Do you know who I'm talking about? He was in Time Machine. Anyways, that was really dark.
Mm-hmm.
Really dark. Did you see that one? It came out.
I don't think I saw that one.
A 3-parter. Each ghost has its own episode, and it was really dark. Really, really took it, but really good in some places. So, yeah, it's a hit or miss with these kind of things.
So we got that. We got Hunger Games, which will be big because it's going back to Hey Mitch, big Hunger Games fans over here.
And what's the next one?
Which one?
Fokker-in-Law.
Yes, Fokker-in-Law.
I'm both excited and kind of frustrated by the obvious money grab, but it's that cast. I think I saw one of the sequels. For me, Meet the Parents is always going to be the best, just because as usual that comes out of nowhere and you're just like De Niro in a comedy and he hits it out of the park. So I think with that one, it kind of wears thin after the movie. At the end of the movie, you're just like, cool. That's don't need any more of that.
Yep.
That was funny. That was perfect. And then obviously they make a trilogy, and now they're making a fourth one. So what are your feelings on that?
It's a comedy. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
The comedies out nowadays. We're talking. I just saw Anaconda, just on a whim, and it turned out pretty good. So I'm trying to be less cynical this year and be like, let it be what it is. Let it breathe. Let it do its thing. And if it's a comedy, great. Let it try to be a comedy. And let's see if it stands on its legs. Happy Gilmore 2 was allowed to be made. So, but let's see. This is a great cast. You get Owen Wilson, De Niro.
Yeah.
You got
Wow.
Wow. And then in December, biggest movie of the year probably. Which one were you going with?
Jumanji 3.
Jumanji sequel. But Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
And we've got Avengers Doomsday, which is great. Who's not going to love that?
And look, we're both going to see it. We're both excited to see it. But do you have concerns about this movie?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're having to revamp and kind of change it because Marvel hasn't had all these different build-up series. Right. They haven't had Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 and Thor 1, 2. They haven't had all of those things to lead into a standalone movie. So now they kind of have to go back to the well and be like, well, this is a sequel to Endgame. And they have to kind of make it that, which is fine. Endgame was great. And then tell me more about those people and let's see how it's focused on Steve Rogers, I'm sure. And I just don't like all these drips and drabs of these teaser trailers coming out. Just give me a trailer if you want to give me a trailer. Give me one teaser. Don't put all these things out into the universe.
Yeah, because I feel like they're kind of you're building it. You're building it. You're building it more in the hype than you did with the actual story. And that's what concerns me is that there's this idea that okay, well, this is the big one. This is what you liked in Endgame. We're going to give you more of it. Right. But Endgame encapsulated all this other stuff with it that it was kind of like this release valve, right? So when you saw Endgame, you were kind of getting a finality. There was a finality to it. This, again, we've talked about this with Fantastic Four and other Marvel movies in the last 5 years, is that there has been no build-up to any of this. There's been little pieces here and there, but then they don't go anywhere, You had the guy that was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he gets busted. Is that
Rural Pud?
Yeah, that dude. No, the villain guy, Jonathan Majors, is that his name?
Yep, that's his name.
Yeah, he gets busted, and then it goes nowhere. And now we're retooling, and I have my worries. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, it feels like it's just gonna be a warm and fuzzy movie. All the stuff that you like, all this stuff. Well, here's more of it.
Yeah.
Versus kind of a new start.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping it is that maybe some of these characters will be recast in this, not necessarily killed, but maybe these the people that did it up until then, now that maybe they die defending something, or maybe they get wiped out in some way, and new versions of these characters come in, and that would be a nice thing to see, I think, just to keep up the whole, because you don't want to like a 50-year-old Thor,
Yeah, you want to build it up so you can, and they were doing the Young Avengers, right? They were building that up for a long time, and it feels like, no, all those people are too old now. All the kids from WandaVision and Hawkeye and all this stuff, now they're too old. We can't go that route anymore. So we'll see where they get with Doomsday. It feels like it's just going to be a lead up movie. It's going to be all the stuff that we should have gotten from prior little drips and drabs through TV series and little tiny Marvel movies that we've gotten like 6 of them a year. It's going to be combining all that into one so that when we do get to the actual Secret Wars, that we're ready for it, that we've got everything in place.
Yeah. There's also, there's also a movie called Werewolf. I thought this came out already.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming out on Christmas like Nosferatu did.
Yeah.
And it's them kind of going to that character. I think Defoe's in it too.
Yeah, I think Robert Eggers, he's a big.
Hmm.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, Ralph Ineson. I don't know him, but yeah, I totally thought there's been so much talk about because I think it happened with the Invisible Man one, which with the actress from Mad Men, right?
Hmm.
What was the name of that? I forget what the name of that movie was, but and after the success of that one, they were like, we're doing more not high like low not low budget in terms of like no talent, but like
Hmm.
lower budgeted movies, but we're doing alternate of these kind of movies. And it's like, oh, that was like 5-6 years ago. And I thought there was supposed to be a werewolf when that came out, and it came out. I thought it came out, and I was waiting for it, waiting, and then it just never came out. So I don't know. This is part of that. I don't know.
Hmm. And then we got Dune 3 coming out in December too. Again, I don't have much to say there because I haven't seen it all, but I'm sure we'll talk about it more when we get to the point of the mid-year when we're looking at the back nine.
Again,
more details again, porn or sports reference. So yeah, that's straight shot of all the movies for this year. We didn't get time to go into TV shows, but
yeah,
we can do that another one. A lot of movies. Let us know. What are you excited for? What do you see on the horizon that you're excited for? What are you going to actually spend your money on at the theater? Let us know on Instagram. Let us know on YouTube, wherever you want to reach out to us. We're back next week with another gangbuster episode with sports and adult references. So until then, this is another episode of whatever this is called. And remember, we're not mad. We're just disappointed.